What's up, Ramblers? I know you want to get into today's podcast, but real quick, make sure you're keeping up by following Assistance HQ and Offsource HQ across all platforms, anywhere on all social medias, to keep up with all of the latest content, updates, exclusive, and everything else. And for business owners, visit offsource.tech for all of your office outsourcing needs, a virtual assistant for every occasion. All the links are in the bio, so go check them out right now. Now, here's your podcast. Before we begin, a moment from our sponsor. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Ramblings. We have another star-studded guest with us, Greg Webb. He's an Amazon seller. He's on Twitter, and he's crossed over 1 million in sales from selling strictly just toys. He's the author of Toyfolio, and he has some pretty good experiences with us. So Greg, talk to us. How are you doing today?
Hey, Angela, thank you so much for having me on today. I really appreciate it. Like you said, my name is Greg Webb. Right at almost a year, I released my very first book called Toyfolio, and it's just my strategy with selling toys on Amazon. I've been an Amazon seller since January of 2015, and pretty much for the last 4 years or so, I've exclusively sold toys. So that's kind of my niche and what I know best. And I think I offer a unique, different strategy for selling on Amazon. And so the book just kind of compiles, my thinking and my personal strategy for selling toys there.
Okay, that's wonderful. 2015. So this marks 5 years relatively now, 5 good years in business.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's been fun.
Okay.
I was going to say, yeah, it's really been fun. Like I said, jumped in head first in 2015. I had some experience with e-commerce with eBay and Craigslist and Marketplace and that kind of stuff beforehand, but had a good friend that, told me about Amazon in the fall of 2014, and I jumped in right after that Q4, started January's Q1 of 2015 and haven't looked back since.
We love the amazing stories of jumping in. Talk to us though. What caused you to jump in? Some people have different ambitions. Did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Was selling something that was like selling things like always been your kind of thing?
I'd always like enjoyed the selling process. I loved flipping things, making a profit and everything. But the main reason that I jumped on Amazon was that I wanted to make an additional income. My wife and I were engaged to be married in 2014, and I knew that we were going to be getting married in 2015, and I wanted to be able to support her. She was just finishing up college, but she wanted to go to grad school. I knew that grad school was going to be expensive, and I wanted a way to pay for it and not go into debt or anything like that. So started Amazon with the goal of I just need to make a few extra dollars a month doing this stuff online, and it's just morphed into something a lot bigger.
It's really big. So you've done over $1 million in sales with this Toyfolio.
Yeah.
How did you get to doing to that point? You said you started with, I just needed some extra cash. So how do you go from extra cash to a million plus in 5 years?
Well, it's just a matter of just continuing to reinvest profits and just continue to, you know, do stuff every day. Like people think that you have to like have this huge business plan and that you have to, work 10 hours a day and everything to do this kind of stuff. But really, if you just spend a few hours a day over and over, and I mean like every day, just kind of like just chugging along, it just compounds, it snowballs. And so, 2015 came, I learned a lot. And then in 2016, I started, kind of putting my own twist and strategy on selling toys on Amazon. And from there, like I said, it's just snowballed from there, where just continue to get better. You learn the toy market a lot better. You learn what sells, what doesn't sell, where you can find it, when you can find it, um, just all kinds of stuff. And so it's been a fun process.
We love the process. I'm a huge Gary Vee fan, so I'm in love with processes. At what point in your process did you realize that this is going to be like a serious source of income? It's no longer like a side thing. This is something I have to now put investment time into.
I think it was that first Q4 in 2015. I didn't realize the scale at which things sell on Amazon and like how fast things sell on Amazon. I had sold, several things throughout 2015, but Q4 of 2015 came and it was just unbelievable. Like I sold out of pretty much everything I had. I sold out way too early, and then I just watched prices just continue to climb to where it was 2 or 3 times what I sold them for.
Mhm.
And I watched all these sellers sell these toys at these prices, and I was like, how in the world did they know that those prices were going to get there? Like, how in the world can I do this next year? And so I started making a plan for Q4 2016. And that's basically been my strategy ever since. I sell toys all throughout the year, but I like push all the chips to the middle of the table for every year for Q4. Like I'm sending in as many toys as I can. I'm watching prices, and it's there's an art to it of making sure that you're there and selling a certain hot item when everybody else wants it and the price just goes up. It's a fun thing to do.
That's almost kind of like a toy stock market, if you will.
It very much is. Yeah, very much is. Every year, toys will, especially on Amazon, because they offer prime shipping. People, they want their toys on time, and they want to get them, to their doorstep in 2 to 3 days. They don't want to think about it. They don't want to run into Walmart or Target or whatever. People are busy during the Christmas season. They don't want to spend the time to go sit in traffic and fight the crowds and be shoulder to shoulder to people, only to maybe even be disappointed where they can't even find the item that they're looking for.
Right.
Where they can go on their computer, they can go on their phone, and they can order what they want. It can be there in a few days, and they don't have to think anymore about it. And so this really causes the prices to go up because all these people want the same item, and there's not enough of them. It's just simple supply and demand.
Mhm. So what is your method? Because you talked about there's almost like a science. Everyone talks about, the act of just doing something. I consider myself an entrepreneur, and I've even tried doing like some selling. I have like some cards my grandmother gave me from back in the day. Much harder than just posting it and hoping that they sell. What is your watch? How do you do your watching, if you will? Like, is there a specific like place that you go? Do you just kind of research what's selling and what's hot?
Yeah, so I guess first of all, it starts all with a software called Keepa, and so Keepa is like it tracks all kinds of information on Amazon, where you can go to Amazon any Amazon product page and you can look at a Keepa graph and it'll tell you the price history of that item, and you can see, all right, this item sells for $15 pretty much all year, but the Keepa graph shows that every Christmas it jumps up to 45, or it may be where Amazon is in stock all year for $20, but Amazon has a pattern of going out of stock every Q4, and when they go out of stock, the toy jumps up to like 60. So just recognizing those kind of patterns, and then it's more of I like to buy and hold stuff. So what that means is that I buy a lot of stuff on a really low price on a clearance, and say that when Walmart or Target does a mass clearance, go in and buy stuff at 50 to 75% off, and I'll hold those toys until Q4 or sometimes you know later, just depending on like when I bought it. And basically, the idea is that once Target and Walmart and all these major retailers, once they clear out toys, like 95% of the time, they don't bring those same toys back. So what happens is, um, you know, they're gone from the stores and then they're no longer made or no longer put out at retail. And so you have this huge third party market on Amazon, where Amazon and eBay and these third party marketplaces are the only place where you can still find those toys.
Right.
People still want them, but you can't go into Walmart and Target and find them anymore. And so I buy them on a low on clearance. Most other sellers go ahead and flip them. They go ahead and get their quick money out of them. But I've seen it too many times where a toy gets put on clearance, people flip it really quick to make a quick buck, but that toy increases in value over time. So I basically am buying on a low, holding, waiting out all the sellers that are in a rush to sell it and make a quick dollar. And I'm watching the keep a graph and watching the value of that toy rise. And then I'm selling it at a lot of times at an all-time high.
Ooh, that's just sound pretty long term, almost like a stock trader, if you will. You know, I can't think of Warren Buffett of toys.
I'm trying to be. Yeah, I sit on toys a long time. I mean, most of the times it's right around a year, but a lot of times you can get by with sitting on a toy for 3 months, 6 months, or something like that. Usually within a 6 month window, most sellers that have bought it beforehand are gone. They've already, liquidated. They've already sold it. They've already made their money and they're moving on to something else. But my strategy, I like to tell people, I can sell less inventory and make more money
Right.
because I have a higher ROI than most people.
Okay. That's excellent. You know, sell more, make more, sell less, still make more. So always good on a win-win. You've been doing strictly toys, you said, for 5 years. Do you see yourself expanding that market to any other buy and sell items, or do you see yourself sticking with strictly toys?
I stick, like I said, 99% of the time I'm selling toys. I do sell some like video game related stuff because it's a very similar niche. Um, and then there's always kind of like seasonal buy and holds that I'll do. I'll do like inflatables, like Christmas inflatables, Halloween inflatables. All those get marked down on clearance after every one of those seasons, and people still want them the next year. So I'll sit on inflatables for a year and sell them for 3 4 times what I paid for them the previous year. Every now and then there's like a hot like household product that I'll jump in on, whether it be like a coffee maker or something, Pioneer Woman related or something like that from Walmart or whatever is hot, and you can make a few dollars on it. It's a nice, it's those kind of things add like a nice quick um, boost of like quick cash flow. But like I said, 99% toys. I am like starting to like dabble in the like sports card trading market and that kind of stuff. I'm learning about that kind of stuff, and so I'm sitting on some trading cards right now. Want to hold them for a little bit and see what they do. Mostly NBA, because everything I hear is that NBA is the hottest market. We're in the finals right now, and certain cards are going high. But I'm kind of banking on waiting until the hype of the next season, where you have everybody playing again.
Right. So with that, because we're in a bubble right now because of Corona, well, I want to ask that. A lot of us have been, whether you're a business owner, e-commerce, or brick and mortar, have been affected by the coronavirus pandemic. How have you been affected, and what have you kind of done to try and alleviate that pain from it?
I guess the biggest pain point right now is I'm not able to get into stores as much as I would like. Stores have changed their hours and stuff. I do a lot of like retail arbitrage shopping, and so especially Walmart. Before the coronavirus, Walmart was open 24 hours. And I could get up at 5 a.m. and go hit up a Walmart and nobody would be there. But you can't do that anymore because they're not open. So that's been the biggest, I guess, pain point. But as far as like other things, I really haven't had any kind of hiccups with the coronavirus, other than right when the peak of COVID hit back in like March and April. Amazon like restricted people sending in stuff that wasn't essential. And so I couldn't send in any toys for like a month there because they were only focused on like getting out, essential items to people. So that's really the only hiccup that I've had. But other than that, online shopping is just booming. And, I've had a really good year thus far. And I expect, this Q4 to be the best ever, just because people are just, are shopping more online than they ever have.
That's especially true. We can't go do a lot of in-person shopping now because of that. So online shopping is definitely going to do a huge boom. What are you doing to prepare for it?
So my strategy is unique in that I'm preparing for Q4 literally all year. Like I start preparing on December 26th for the next Q4, where I'm buying stuff on clearance, and I prep everything ahead of time. So with Amazon, I'm able to send everything to FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon, which means that I send all of my inventory to an Amazon fulfillment center. It gets checked in there and then it goes live. And so when somebody orders a toy from me, I'm not physically grabbing that toy off a shelf here and shipping it out myself. Amazon is, picking it out of their fulfillment center. They're sending it to the customer. They're handling all the customer service and everything. I'm completely hands free once it leaves here. So I'm been prepping FBA inventory all year long, where I'm labeling, polybagging, prepping toys to where they need to be, FBA compliant and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm just sending stuff to FBA now. I'm just shipping stuff and shipping stuff every day to FBA. And so I'm gonna continue to do that, continue to prep inventory here, send to FBA, and let them handle the rest.
Sounds good. Very hands off. Very hands off. I like that. So before we get you off and everything, we want to ask you, I guess, the big question that a lot of flippers out there or other entrepreneurs that are listening to, whatever it is that they're doing. What was your favorite, biggest, or best flip?
I've been asked this question a couple of times on Twitter, and I would say like the best flip I had um, was the one that really like solidified my personal like buy and hold strategy. So if you follow me for any amount of time, you know that I really like Jurassic World like dinosaur toys.
I've seen.
They always sell really well. Once they can't be found, usually they really increase in value. But along the first Jurassic World movie came out, there was a certain dinosaur in the movie called the Indominus Rex, and it's a gray, like T-Rex looking dinosaur. Anyway, Walmart had a big, like 18-inch figure that they put on clearance. I think the original MSRP was like 40, maybe $50. I think it was around 40, and they marked them down to $9 in 2016. And so I bought like 50, or I bought around 50 of those in the spring of 2016 for $9. I held them throughout the year, and then that December I sold all 50 for around $90 a piece. So that was a couple $1,000s worth of profit on that one flip. And today you can't find those anywhere. They go for like over $200 on Amazon today,
Wow.
just because, like I said, they don't make them anymore. You can't find them anymore. Yeah. So that was the one that has really like solidified my buy and hold strategy, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
We love that. So in that, have you had like you do a lot of arbitrage shopping and everything. Do you have a personal toy collection of like your favorite like things like maybe mementos of things that sold the best or maybe just of like, oh, I really like these and these are personal for me?
I don't really like have a personal like toy collection as far as like stuff that I personally like. I have like I call it the Ring of Honor around my office, where I have like a couple shelves around the top of the office, and
Mm.
it's just like one of like different toys that I've sold a lot of, and like they have a story. So like I can tell you a story about each one of those toys that are on those shelves that go around the Ring of Honor. I got the first thing that I ever sold, Amazon FBA, up there. I got a bunch of different toys that I could tell you a story about. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, we love stories here on the Ram. Well, that's why it's called the Ramblings. What's one of your favorite stories of those toys?
Let's see. One of those toys that I have up there, I think the very first is actually one that I didn't sell on Amazon, but it's the one that like kind of got me hooked on toys. And this is the one that I write about at the very beginning of the Toyfolio book. It's a Elsa doll from the movie Frozen.
Mm.
And in 2014, I was really like chasing after this particular Elsa doll because the movie Frozen had been released and everybody wanted these dolls. And I was buying them from Walmart for like $30, and I was selling them on eBay at the time between like 60 and 70. And I had so many of these Elsa dolls at this one time in my second bedroom of my house that they were literally stacked to the ceiling, and I scratched one of the boxes on the pop ceiling of the house. And so I had one that was damaged there from the popcorn ceiling. But I still have one of those, and it's sitting on the Ring of Honor. And it's kind of just where I got my start, where I really started taking this stuff seriously.
Wow. Great story. We love it. So that's really the time that we have right now. We absolutely thank you for coming. You've dropped like some crazy good gems. So I'm sure that all of your fans and followers are gonna like, they follow you on Twitter, but to actually hear it and everything, I'm sure they're absolutely gonna love it. So thank you so much for coming.
All right, man. I appreciate you having me on, Angelo. Really appreciate it.
No problem. And when you make another big flip, maybe we want to have you back on.
Yes, sir. Would love to.
All right, we'll talk. Have a great time. Before you go, Ramblers, if you enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure you're following me across all platforms at Assistance HQ. Catch up on exclusive content and keep track of everything going on at OffSource. See you in October.